You're 11 years old. It's 1983. School let out an hour ago, and you're already home because you have your own key. It's on a shoelace around your neck, tucked under your shirt, so nobody can see it. The house is quiet. Both your parents are still at work. There's a note on the counter in your mom's handwriting. Dinner's in the freezer. Lock the door. Don't answer if anyone knocks. And here's the strange part. You're not scared. You're not even sad. You're fine. You figured out the stove, the locks, the long hours alone. All of it by yourself. That's the moment. That's where it started. Because the kid who learns to need no one grows into the adult that no one thinks to check on. This is the psychology of Generation X. If you were born between 1965 and 1980, this is you. And you already know the joke. You're the generation everyone forgets. Sandwiched between the baby boomers, who got all the attention, and the millennials, who got all the headlines. You're the middle child of generations. Smaller in number, quieter, easy to skip over. People call Gen X the forgotten generation, and it usually gets said with a shrug, like it's a piece of trivia. But being overlooked isn't trivia. It leaves a mark. And that mark is the whole reason you handle life the way you do. The good parts and the hard ones. So let's actually look at it. Not to complain, to understand. Because once you see the pattern, a lot of things about your life start to make a quiet kind of sense. Start with those empty afternoons. Gen X grew up inside a specific storm. Divorce rates were climbing fast, and for the first time, most mothers were working outside the home. Nobody had built a system for what to do with the kids in between, so the kids became the system. They even had a name for you. Latchkey children. You let yourself in. You made your own snack. You watched yourself, and sometimes your younger siblings too. And the message underneath all of it, the one nobody said out loud but you absorbed anyway, was simple. Figure it out. Don't make a fuss. Handle it. And you did. That part deserves to be said plainly. You were remarkably capable. You still are. Gen X earned a reputation as the most independent, low-drama, get-it-done people in any room. That competence is real. You built it yourself. But every strength comes with a bill attached. And this one comes due quietly. When you're raised to handle everything alone, your nervous system learns a lesson it never quite unlearns. Needing help is dangerous. Asking for it feels like weakness. So you stop asking. You get very, very good at two words. I'm fine. And you say them on autopilot, even when you're not. Psychologists have a gentler name for this. They call it learned self-reliance. Sometimes hyper-independence. It isn't a character flaw. It's a survival skill that worked so well when you were small that it kept running long after the danger was gone. The 11-year-old with the key protected you. The 48-year-old is still using the same lock. And here's where it gets heavy, so stay with me. Researchers at Pew have found that nearly half of adults in their 40s and 50s are caught in the middle, helping to care for an aging parent while still supporting their own kids. There's a name for that too, the sandwich generation. And Gen X is right in the thick of it. Think about what that means. Day to day, you're the one who drives mom to her appointments. You're the one your teenager texts when everything falls apart. You're the one holding two other lives together with both hands. So here's the question nobody thinks to ask you. While you're checking on everyone else, who is checking on you? And you'd never say it out loud, because the honest answer is mostly no one. Not because people don't care about you, but because you've spent 40 years being the reliable one. The person who's always okay, who never needs anything, who has it handled. You trained everyone around you to believe it, so they do. They lean on you, and it never occurs to them to lean the other way because you never gave them a reason to. That's the real meaning of the forgotten generation. Not forgotten in history books. Forgotten in the small, daily way that actually hurts. You quietly became the person nobody checks on. If this is landing a little too close, stay with me, because in a minute, I want to show you what all of this quietly costs you in midlife, and the one small shift that can start to change it. And if this is the first place that's ever put words to something you've carried for years, subscribe. It really does help the right people find it. Now, back to it. Here's what a lifetime of being unshakable does to a person. You get tired. Not the kind of tired a good night's sleep fixes, the deeper kind, the kind that lives in your bones. You wake up already worn down, and you can't quite explain why, because on paper, nothing is wrong. That exhaustion has a source, and it isn't laziness. It's the weight of carrying everyone for decades, while telling yourself it's nothing. And there's a loneliness in it that catches people off guard. Not the loneliness of an empty room. You're surrounded by people who need you. It's the loneliness of being needed by everyone and known by almost no one. Of being the shoulder, never the one who gets to lean. You can stand in a full house and still feel like the person nobody actually sees. So let me leave you with the reframe, because you've earned it. That 11-year-old who learned to need no one. They were doing their best with what they had. They deserve a thank you, not a life sentence. Because here's the truth self-reliance never taught you. Letting someone in isn't weakness. Needing people isn't a glitch in the system. It's the system working the way it was always meant to. You are allowed to be checked on. You're allowed to be the one who gets asked, "No, really, how are you?" And to answer honestly. Being strong your whole life doesn't disqualify you from being cared for. It's exactly why you deserve it. And if reading yourself in this brought something up, if the tiredness or the loneliness has been sitting heavy for a while, please don't carry it alone. Talking to someone, a professional or just a person you trust, isn't weakness. For you of all people, it might be the bravest thing you do. There are people trained to help wherever you are, and reaching out is always okay. If this put words to something you felt but never quite said, tell me in the comments. I read them. And if you want more of the mind explained gently, without the jargon, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Someone should. And today, let it be you.